You like my new keyblade?
This is the future of entertainment.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Broken Planet Video Game Reviews. I'm your host, Jeremy Stanzioni, and today we'll be discussing the bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1. Previously, I reviewed the game and did a quick little synopsis of each boss, but today we'll be going more in-depth and discussing some of the hidden bosses in the game. Let's get to it. The first boss you encounter in the game is Darkseid. I'll be discussing all three of these battles. The first battle is incredibly simple. When his hand is hanging low or he smashes his hand into the ground, just wail on it. It's that simple. All three of these boss fights are the easiest in the game. One may argue that the third and final fight could cause some difficulty, but level up a few more times and you're good to go. Your next two boss fights occur in Traverstown, Leon and the Guard Armor. Leon is a very easy boss with little to no defense. He'll slash you with his sword a few times before completely freezing and letting you attack him. The Guard Armor presents itself as the first semi-difficult boss in the game. Choose one to target. I recommend starting with the feet and spamming X until they disappear. Afterwards, you'll want to go after the arms. It's important to note that each time you take down a set of limbs, the armor uses a new type of attack. When you get down to the torso and head, he'll begin to use a spin move that is just a pain to avoid. The following bosses are in our first Disney World, Wonderland. The first being the Crank Tower. Some people may not consider this a real boss, but I'll throw it in there anyways. The Crank Tower itself is quite easy. Just beat down each of the cogs before finishing it up. Card guards will attack you throughout the battle. Take down a few of them, then head back to the tower and repeat the pattern for the rest of the battle. Trickmaster is an annoying boss. Between his moveset and the environment, you may be spending a good half hour on this fight. The only vulnerable spot on this guy is his head, and due to your size, you'll have to use the surrounding table or chair to jump up and attack it. The chair and table disappear every so often, and when this happens, I recommend you avoid his attacks by running in circles around his legs. After a certain point in this fight, he'll begin to light his pins on fire and shoot fireballs at you. Hide behind the table or chair to avoid these attacks and finish him up nicely. Your next boss fight is in the Colosseum during the preliminaries and the story-based part of the world. You'll have to face Cloud in a pretty fun battle. He has some annoying moves that make it hard to avoid his attacks, but just wait for him to rest with his sword in the ground and attack quickly. He's got my finger. He's got my finger. Oh After this fight, you'll be thrust into a battle with the three-headed dog Cerberus. Cerberus could be an easy or hard battle depending on who you ask. Personally, I found this to be quite simple. When he jumps in the air, make sure you jump before he comes back down to avoid the shockwave he sends off. After his heads viciously chomp at you, this is where you'll want to attack. If he starts to throw up last week's meatloaf you fed him, you'll want to run... If he starts to throw up last week's meatloaf you fed him, you'll want to run around the arena without stopping because pillars of darkness will rise out of the ground. We then have our first mini-boss fight in the deep jungle, the Saber. This is an easy fight. One of the annoying things about this battle, though, is the fact that the Saber can disappear into the shrubbery and attack you out of nowhere. Make sure you're locked onto him at all times, as it is easy to lose him due to his speed. In terms of health, he's an easy enemy to take down. You'll then face Clayton in one of the easiest battles in the game. I have to be honest, I don't even know what his attacks are, because if you just keep spamming X, he'll have absolutely no chance to fight back. Clayton will then team up with a heartless chameleon known as the Stealth Sneak. Props to whoever came up with that name. This battle is also pretty easy. The chameleon has like two attacks that are very easy to dodge. Take out the Heartless, then finish up Clayton just like you did before. When you return to Traverstown, you'll face the Guard Armor again, and he has the exact same attacks as before, except this time he's easier because you've leveled up a few more times by now. The Reverse Guard Armor presents itself as a bit more of a challenge. After taking out its limbs, you'll find it has an extremely annoying move where it's invulnerable and turns itself into a cannon, which is extremely difficult to avoid. Wait for him to morph back into his natural form and go to town. In Agrabah, the pot centipede can be finished in a matter of minutes. Ignore the pots and focus on its rear and face. The attacks do laughable damage, and you'll
have this done real quick.
The Cave of Wonder Guardian is a simple battle in theory. The cave itself has practically no offense, but it will lift its head up, making it so that you cannot hit its weak point, the eyes. This battle presents itself as annoying. You'll find that when the cave lowers its head, you'll be dealing with surrounding Heartless and you'll miss your opportunity. Inside the cave, you'll face Jafar for the first time. He'll float around the room and mock you, but his attacks do little damage, and every time he does attack, Genie will yell something like, "I'm sorry!" The second Jafar fight, Jafar Genie, is even easier. Avoid the fireballs and other attacks, find Iago, and beat the crap out of that poor bird. Inside Mantra, you'll face the Parasite Cage. Another very easy boss both times around. Attack its head and even feel free to take a few of its attacks to keep hitting it, because these moves do practically no damage. Atlantica, how I hate you. Our next mini-boss is the Shark. The shark is very easy to defeat. He makes large jerking motions before each of his attacks, which should be pretty easy to dodge, but if you're like me and you hate these damn swimming mechanics, you'll get hit almost every time. No problem. Just another boss with terrible offense. Spam him and take him out nicely. The first Ursula fight sounds simple, but it's very annoying to deal with. She'll float around the room with invulnerability, and you'll have to fire magic into her cauldron to be able to hit her. Attack floats him or jets him to restore your MP and follow this pattern. One annoying move she uses is where she spins around the room and you can't do anything to stop her. Is a bit more difficult than the other bosses you've been facing. She is very verbal about her attacks and yells something before each one. You'll have her patterns down quick, but even so, you get hit with a few of them, you'll be dead quick. I recommend leveling up a few times and coming back if you're constantly dying, like I did. The next mini-bosses are in Halloweentown. Boy, do I sure love beating up little kids. Lock, Shock, and Barrel are really easy. They'll hardly hit you. The only semi-difficult thing about this fight is that they're constantly running around the room and avoiding your attacks. Oogie Boogie himself is easy. The giant roulette wheel you run around on is not. I'm not going to take the time to go over every single attack this wheel has, but all you have to do is wait for the buttons in the middle to light up, step on the one across from Oogie, and have the platform rise up before attacking him. Oogie himself has no offense whatsoever, so follow this pattern about 3 times and you'll be done. Oogie then turns into his house, and I wouldn't consider this a boss fight, but I'll leave it in there. You have to climb the mansion and find these little black orbs, which you'll have to destroy while taking out the surrounding Heartless. This is easy in theory, but after getting knocked off the manor several times, you'll find this is very frustrating. The next boss is in Neverland, which takes the form of Anti-Sora. This battle is annoying and difficult and just... ugh. His moves are quick and hard to avoid. He goes into the floor so you can't hit him, and the camera is so difficult to keep in a place where you can see him. The easiest time to hit him is when he makes clones of himself, but even so, if you waste too much time trying to find the right one, you'll miss your opportunity. Captain Hook is a relaxing fight to have fun with. Ignore the Heartless around you unless they're really doing some damage, and just wail on Hook. His offense is terrible, and you'll have fun just kicking this crocodile scared ass. Hollow Bastion presents multiple bosses. The first Riku fight is pretty simple. I'm not going to bother going too in-depth because, to be honest, if you die during this fight, you kind of suck. The first Maleficent battle isn't as easy. She floats around on a piece of rock which you have to take down before you can attack her. Her attacks do some heavy damage. If you're not careful, you'll be taken out quickly. You'll then face Maleficent's dragon form, which in my opinion is a lot easier. She'll shoot fire, and I think she's pretty similar to the attacks at Cerberus. Run around onto her back, go to town on her head to finish her off. You'll then face Riku once more in the most difficult battle so far. His attacks are so swift and hard to avoid. Spend most of your time in the air, only attacking when he takes a moment to rest. Your final fight in Hollow Bastion is significantly easier. The Behemoth is considered a boss, even though in the end of the world, he spawns like a regular enemy. The enemy hardly moves, and his attacks are very easy to avoid. Running up his back and attacking his horn will do the damage. In the end of the world, you'll face Chernobog in a difficult battle. Chernobog's patterns are hard to get down because they all look so similar. The Fire Pillar can kill you instantly if you're not careful. Just avoid his many attacks and only go in during his rests. And some brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, he's heartless and yours, and they're like, he's heartless and yours. I pretty much gave my thoughts on Ansem in the original Kingdom Hearts review, so go watch it if you're curious. All I'll say now is if you want to finish him with ease, you should be at least a level 60 or 70. In the Pegasus Cup, you'll face Leon and Yuffie together. This is an easy fight. Avoid Leon's moves for a bit while taking down Yuffie. Once she's down, finish up Leon, and that's all there is. In the Hercules Cup, you'll face the man himself. When Hercules is glowing, you'll have to throw a barrel at him to make him vulnerable to attack. When he's not glowing, he's a pretty simple boss that really has simple moves to dodge. Just do it. It's okay. It's not that hard. In the Hades Cup, you'll face the God of Death in a difficult battle. His attacks are heavy-hitting and hard to avoid. Just go in during his rest and you'll be safe. The Rock Titan is the easiest boss in the game. He hardly moves and he lets you hit him when his attacks are incredibly easy to avoid. As for the Ice Titan, he presents some difficulty. His attacks do a fair amount of damage and it's hard to get close to him without taking a beating. Your final fight in the Colosseum is Sephiroth. This fight is incredibly difficult. I consider this to be harder than Ansem and might even go as far to say he's the hardest boss in the game. His attacks are so fast and hard to dodge. If you think you're safe to go in and attack, he'll just beat you down some more. I really don't have any real tips for this fight other than just good luck, I guess. One thing I didn't cover in the original review was the hidden bosses, so let's get these done quick. When you return to Agrabah and speak with the Magic Carpet in Aladdin's house, you'll be taken to a fight with Kurt Zisa. This battle is hard. There's multiple phases to this fight, and in the first phase, he'll take away your magic abilities. I recommend loading up with high potions and mega potions, as his attacks do some big damage, and there's several times in this fight where he'll be impervious to attack. When you speak with Tinkerbell on Hook's ship, you'll be transported to the clock tower, where you'll face the Phantom. This battle is difficult as there's so many factors happening. An orb will appear below the Phantom, and the color of the orb depends on which attack will do damage to him. Numbers will appear above you and your friends, and if the clock hits 0, you automatically die. To slow this process, attack the clock itself. I hate this fight so much. The Black Bolide is found in the deep jungle. This boss isn't difficult in terms of battle, but in terms of skill. The Black Bolide will duplicate itself, and one of the copies will jingle around. Keep your eye on this copy, as the clones will switch around, and you have to find that original jingling copy. Upon returning to Halloweentown in Oogie's Manor, you'll find the Chimera, an easy boss with some annoying tendencies. The Chimera has an armor bar that you have to take down before its jar's head will pop out, and you have to do some real damage. Heartless will appear around you, and make sure you take them out before continuing the Chimera, as they will cause you much trouble later. Our next boss, and one of the easiest, is where you fought the Parasite Cage in Monstro. Here, you'll find the Grand Ghost. The Grand Ghost can only be defeated with potions and elixirs. Get nice and close to his spooky boy, and use 2 elixirs to finish him off. Our final boss is found in Hollow Bastion after beating the game. Here, you'll find a hooded figure who is confirmed to be, spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas. This battle is just as hard as the final battle in Kingdom Hearts 2. His attacks move a light speed, and he can do some insane damage in a matter of seconds. I recommend that this is the final thing you do at the very end of your 100% completion, as finishing the 100-acre wood just won't feel as satisfying. I really don't have advice for this insane fight other than make sure you have loaded up on potions and good luck. I still haven't beaten Xemnas in like 4 years. I should probably just level up and go get it, but oh well. Now, there are more enemies in the official Kingdom Hearts Final Mix guidebook to be considered as bosses, but I don't consider them. So I'll run down the list real quick. Card of Hearts, Card of Spades, Genie, Shadow Sora, Bit Sniper, Cannon Small, Cannon Large, Jet Balloon, Giga Shadow, Missile Driver, Pot Scorpion, Neo Shadow, Sniper Wild, Pink Agaricus, Stealth Soldier. This has been the Broken Planet review of Kingdom Hearts bosses. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and click that bell icon to get notified when a new Broken Planet video game review gets released. I remember me. Read the script!